the tech giant does it again.
Their innovative features and industry-leading technologies help improve our lives.
A look into what's new and all the updates reveal. Showing support.
You know, he had a really busy job, but he always was there for the girls.
To help bring attention to suicide prevention. And tour dates for the last hurrah of the legendary rock and roll band will have to wait.
We've been known to set the world on fire with our type of music for the last couple of years, to say the least.
As one band member recovers from an injury, these stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Cassandra Alonzo. I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin
Feeling the
School of
heat as the
Journalism
summer heat
and
wave
Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
Feeling the heat wave as the summer heat wave stretches into the fall. Caplin News reporter Hawa Ezel thought she'd be escaping the hot temperatures when she moved to our DC bureau.
She is there this morning.
It is hot, and whether you're in the tropics of Florida or the metropolis of DC, this issue of climate change is affecting everybody. Some schools along the Northeast and parts of the Southeast close early or cancel altogether due to the excessive heat. Washington, D.C. has issued a heat emergency plan.
Lately in D.C. it's been real hot. It's been real hot in D.C. lately.
Activating cooling centers throughout the city. And 2 people have died in Miami-Dade County in the past year after working outdoors. The climate crisis has long been a global issue, and the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez urged countries responsible for 80% of emissions to take action.
Assume your responsibilities. Developed countries must commit to reaching net zero emissions as close as possible to 2040.
Outdoor business owners like Sherelle Anderson are starting to feel the effects of the crisis.
The type of work that I do, it is very hazardous due to the nature of the heat index.
Sherelle owns an automotive detail business and wears a hoodie while working to protect her skin from the chemicals she uses and the heat that the surface of the cars emit.
You know, our customers, they don't necessarily want to come outside in the heat. Let's just say we feel the impact, not just physically, but financially.
Down south, residents are seeing major spikes in utility bills.
Most people that I'm hearing from are paying like $500 and $600 light bills.
And naturally, some companies have seen positive outcomes.
I'm seeing an increase in sales, really, because the extreme heat is putting a burden on the AC systems.
Back up north, citizens say it's been a while since they've had to deal with heat like this.
It's been real hot in D.C. Like I said, we ain't never experienced this hotness. I think in like the last few years, it's been over 100-something degree days out here.
With winter approaching, hopes are that temperatures will start to cool down. But for now, the National Weather Service advises everyone to stay hydrated, wear light clothing, and keep in cool areas. In Washington, D.C., for Caplin News, I'm Hawa Ezel.
Breaking news this morning involving an escaped inmate. The manhunt for convicted murderer Danilo Cavalcante has ended. He was captured Wednesday morning in Chester County, Pennsylvania, about 20 miles north of the prison he escaped from. Cavalcante had been on the run since August 31st. You may remember he escaped by crab walking up a wall, then managed to evade hundreds of officers for days.
Investigators are still trying to figure out why a parking garage in Jacksonville, Florida collapsed yesterday at 12:15 p.m. No injuries have been reported after the third section of the St. Vincent Riverside Hospital collapsed. Multiple cars were damaged, and at last check, firefighters were still looking for anyone who could have been trapped in the collapse.
The Missouri governor has appointed a new member to the state Supreme Court. His choice is Appeals Court Judge Kelly Broniak. As Caplin's Jalen Medina reports, with this newest appointment, women will make up a majority of the judges on the state's highest court.
Broniak stood by her husband Mark and 2 daughters, Katie and Hannah, as she accepted her new position on the Missouri Supreme Court. Her appointment means that, for now, a majority of the judges on the Missouri Supreme Court will be women. Missouri is one of the only 11 states that has a majority of women on its Supreme Court.
And I will do my best to bring common sense, practicality, and respect for the rule of law to my work at the court, along with the important values of humility, kindness, and hard work.
The 52-year-old Montgomery City resident will replace retiring George W. Draper III. Governor Parson will make his third appointment to the Missouri Supreme Court when Judge Patricia Breckenridge retires next month after turning 70, the court's mandatory retirement age. Broniak's appointment may also shift the state Supreme Court to a more conservative view. The court will only have 2 judges who were appointed by a Democrat governor.
She worked hard, worked her way up, and now I know she'll work even harder for the people of the state of Missouri in our state's highest court.
That was Caplin's Jalen Medina reporting. Broniak will become the 6th woman to serve as a Missouri Supreme Court judge.
The time has come. Apple has released new products along with updates that will have consumers on their feet. As Caplin's Valeria Morales reports, unveiling details include colors, cameras, and much more.
The familiar full-time buzz surrounded the Apple campus in Cupertino for the debut of the all-new Apple Watch Series 9 and iPhone 15.
Their innovative features and industry-leading technologies help improve our lives in so many meaningful and delightful ways.
The Apple Watch Series 9, priced at $399, is Apple's first carbon-neutral product. It allows hands-free control by tapping your index finger and thumb for tasks like answering calls and scrolling through your dock.
It uses a machine learning algorithm to detect the unique signature of tiny movements and changes in blood flow when your hand and fingers perform a double tap.
iPhone 15 and 15 Pro introduce an action button for customized shortcuts on the Pro model and the option to request roadside assistance via AAA without a sign-on.
You'll never see Steven Spielberg or someone like that make a movie about someone stranded on a desert island, because it will just never happen again, because the new iPhones have completely eliminated that possibility.
The 48MP lens combines 7 lenses in one, providing a remarkable 5x optical zoom, the longest ever at 120 mm.
If you're at that Taylor Swift concert, you want to get as close as you can, and 5x zoom is like getting a $1,000 more expensive seat.
Apple's move to USB-C ports is seen as a downside. iPhone 15 starts at $799 and Pro starts at $999. Pre-orders open in stores next Friday. Valeria Morales for Caplin News.
Famous North American rock band Aerosmith has postponed their final tour, and it is not what you would expect. The tour has been on hiatus due to lead frontman singer Steven Tyler dealing with a vocal cord injury. According to his doctor's order, Steven cannot sing for 30 days. The shows that were going to occur this month have now been scheduled to occur during the winter season.
September is marked as National Suicide Prevention Month, a time to remember the lives lost to suicide and to raise awareness about suicide prevention. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on how to show support.
He was a complete and utter goofball. He drove us bonkers a lot of the times. We'd give anything to have that back.
He was a father, a husband, and a CEO at MARTA, Atlanta's mass transit operator.
You know, he had a really busy job, but he always was there for the girls.
Beneath Jeff Parker's exterior, there was silent suffering.
That shame and stigma is what gets in the way and prevents people from accessing help when they're struggling. And clearly that, I would imagine, was going on for my husband, since it was not something that we were aware of, that he struggled with.
On January 14th, 2022, Parker died by suicide.
And I think the thing I heard the most is, you all seem so perfect. You didn't seem like the kind of family that this would happen to. And I think that that really speaks to what we as a society think and conceptualize in our mind about what a person who is struggling looks like.
His wife of nearly 32 years is an advanced practice registered nurse at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. For the past decade, suicide prevention has been her focus. She says suicide stigma needs to be erased, and talking about it can save lives.
But if we begin to sort of change the narrative around feelings and emotions and see them all as normal and okay and expected, we can begin to get ahead of things like suicide, depression, and anxiety, because we're creating space and opportunity to have these conversations when difficult things come up. I would say that suicide does not have to be the answer. There is hope, there is help, and that you are loved.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Marlins look to shift the momentum in their series against the Brewers after suffering an embarrassing 12-0 loss in the opening contest.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
And you. And when you go in the water, you enter the food chain.
How one man was out of the hospital the same day he suffered an attack to the face. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
It's hardly a surprise when shark attacks occur at the beach, but what one man encountered with a shark was truly exceptional. It was just a normal surf day along Florida's New Smyrna beach until he had a unique experience with a shark that he will never forget.
Daniel Manson is a surfer in the shark bite capital of the U.S. However, the bite he suffered to the face is still extremely rare. Luckily, the South Carolina man not only survived, but retold the experience with all smiles.
They're just critters looking for food, you know? Like me and you. And when you go in the water, you enter the food chain.
The condition of the man who was bitten is not known, but he was released from the hospital just a few hours after arriving there.
The Marlins fall short yet again in a must-win series against the Brewers. In 2 games, the Fish have only managed to put up 1 run on the board, which came in the first inning off a solo homer from Luis Arraez. Outside of that, the Marlins offense was shut down for the 2nd straight night, and even though the Brewers got off to a slow start, they were still able to pull away. The final score was Marlins 1, Brewers 3. The Fish still have a chance to split the series today and tomorrow before they go back to Miami for a tough weekend series against the Braves. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panthetech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Cassandra Alonso.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.